Dr. Jones is ready for a treasure hunt with today's game, Swordquest Earthworld for your Atari 2600. Let's go ahead and grab our mini comic. Let's grab the game, pop it in my 7800 Pro system, and see how it holds up today. Let's go to the game. Swordquest Earthworld was published by Atari and, according to randomterrain.com, was released in October of 1982. It was the first of what was to be a 4-game series where gamers could try to figure out a secret phrase by deciphering clues using both the game and the included DC mini comic book. Apparently the game itself was a pseudo-sequel of sorts to the classic Adventure, at one point even being called Adventure 2, with the contest being inspired in part by the popular Adventure Easter egg. Answers for the contest would be mailed into Atari, and finalists for each game would be chosen to compete for a game-specific golden prize encrusted with precious jewels valued at $25,000 each. A gold, jewel-encrusted sword valued at $50,000 would serve as the grand prize once the 4 contests ended. But this was not to be, as the series only made it to 3 games before the company was sold. The prize for Swordquest Earthworld was a talisman, which was won by 20-year-old Steve Bell. It's believed that Steve melted down the talisman for $15,000 in cash, but kept the white gold sword on top. The Swordquest game setup was thought up by Todd Fry, who gained fame for his unique port of Pac-Man for the 2600. But Earthworld itself was programmed by Dan Hitchens, who also programmed the fun 2600 port of Berserk, which I reviewed way back in episode 154. I'll try to remember to link that review in the description below. The manual opens with the following. Warning! All you who enter Earthworld will encounter danger, trials, tests, and obstacles. All will have an equal chance to decipher the hidden message. Welcome to Earthworld. This is the first in a series of 4 worlds that you must pass through on your quest for the Sword of Ultimate Sorcery. Swordquest Earthworld is an adventure game for 1 player only with 1 standard mode of difficulty. For the controls, use a joystick to move and press a button to enter rooms. Once in a room, you press the button to pick up objects and put it in your inventory, which can hold up to 6 objects, or to drop objects in the room itself. To leave a room, you go to the door and press the button. In total, there are 12 rooms, 1 for each sign of the zodiac, and each with a unique color. You use the giant hallway to go in between rooms, using the upper and lower paths to start. For most rooms, pressing the button will take you straight in, but 4 rooms will take you to a minigame first that you have to complete before going on, unless you're carrying a special object. More on that later. To get to the Sagittarius room, you must avoid spears and make your way to the top. To get into Taurus's room, you must avoid his horns in similar fashion. To get into Aquarius's room, you must jump from raft to raft. In all these games, it's possible for the on-screen elements to change size and or speed. To get into Leo's room, you must navigate through openings of colorful waterfalls that increase in size as you go on. In all 4 of these obstacle encounters, if you get hit or fall, you will immediately start over. Throughout the 12 rooms, and in your starting inventory, there are a total of 15 objects. Holding different objects can result in different effects. The amulet will cause you to enter rooms at random when moving around the corridor, unless you also have the necklace. The lamp lets you see the horns of Taurus in his obstacle room. The Cloak of Invisibility lets you skip the horns or the spears. The keys let you use the side doors of the corridor. The leather armor lets you harmlessly pass through the spears or horns. The shoes of stealth mute your footsteps. And the talisman of passage lets you skip Leo's waterfalls. Once in a while you could get a hint, usually by placing certain objects in certain rooms, although the first hint will be given simply by moving through enough corridors. It will usually show 2 numbers. These refer to a page number in the comic book followed by a panel number. For instance, the first hint, 16-4, will have you go to the 4th panel on the 16th page, where you can see the word Spire hidden in the artwork. In total, there are 10 words to find, along with a set of pictures that are supposed to relate to the next game, for a total of 11 hits to find. However, only 5 of the 10 words go into the secret phase. How were you supposed to know which 5 words? Inside the cover, the words prime and number had different colors, meaning that only clues found on pages that were prime numbers were to be used in the secret phrase, and those words turned into the correct phrase, which was Quest and Tower Talisman Found. Only 8 players submitted the correct phrase. The most often missed word was talisman, which, unlike the other words, wasn't hidden in the art, but was italicized in the word bubble. The 11th and final clue is shown on a modified title screen. After this screen, you can retrieve the final object, the warrior sword, in a sense beating the game, although the game keeps on going with nothing new to do. Graphically speaking, the game has a nice look to it, and the sounds and music are solid as well. Family-friendly wise, the game contains use of zodiac symbols and would most likely get an E for everyone rating it for release today. Currently at PriceTrying.com, the game has a value of $8 loose, $23 complete, and $38 new. So what did I think of Swordquest Earthworld? Well, it has decent graphics, controls well enough, and came with a nice comic book, but the game itself is simply hampered by an objective that is near impossible to beat without a walkthrough. As a kid, I had a loose copy that I played occasionally, but honestly I had no idea what I was doing. But even with the manual and the comic book, I still don't know how anyone figured this mess out. Sure, with the hint you could examine panels, but how on Earthworld were you supposed to know what objects had to be placed in what room? I heard rumors that the comic was supposed to give you clues about the object placement, but I've yet to meet anyone who could show me the connection. Even one of the contestants admitted to simply guessing the right phrase simply by examining the comic book for hidden words. One source of the object placement solution online said that they received the solution from an anonymous source, leading me to speculate that we only have the full solution today because someone close to the game leaked it, not that anyone actually figured out how to solve the game on their own. Maybe one day someone can explain how to figure out what objects to put where when the game originally came out, although it's possible you simply had to do this by endless trial and error. In a nutshell, this makes Swordquest Earthworld only worth playing if you have a walkthrough, and even then it's not super fun. It took me quite a while to learn how to time the rafts of Aquarius, and to this day Leo's waterfall keeps stopping me. Thankfully, you can use objects to get through some of the mini games. So where am I going to rank Swordquest Earthworld? Very, 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 very low. I did enjoy playing it through with the walkthrough enough to put it over basic math at 238, but I'd still give Entombed a nod at 237. So of the 248 2600 games I've now reviewed, Swordquest Earthworld is searching through endless corridors at the 238 position. With clear objectives, Swordquest Earthworld could have been something special, but in the end, it's a confusing mess. But that's just what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Also, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me both on the Facebook and the Twitter, and click the bell so you don't miss any future videos. At this time, I'd like to thank Vince B for his generous support on Patreon. If you think these videos give you at least $1 per month of information and entertainment, please consider joining my supporters at patreon.com/NoSwearGamer. Not only will you help keep the show going, but you may also get a chance to nominate and vote on games for me to review. Thank you for giving me a little part of your day, and I look forward to seeing you next time in the next episode of the No Swear Gamer. Take care, and watch out for rainbow waterfalls.